The Successful Servant Leader podcast is all about the pioneer woman on her unique journey of becoming and being who God has called her to be. The divine connection between the wealth mindset and success in every area of our lives can no longer be denied. Successful Servant Leader teaches us how to increase our confidence and strategically and effectively serve while in the pursuit of success in our lives, our faith, and our businesses. I'm your host, Victoria Grace, and welcome to the show. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, SSL fam. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of this movement. Y'all already know I am so glad that you're here. Go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back for intentionally choosing to be a part of this episode that will most definitely help all of us level up spiritually, professionally, and personally. If you're new here, what's up? I'm so glad that you're here. What's up? Go ahead and make sure that you hit that subscribe button on whatever app you're listening on. You'll get a fresh episode on either the wealthy place, healthy behavior change, and current topics related to the modern day servant leader and the modern day pioneer woman every single week. You already know. Happy New Week. We have 2 weeks at this point left in the year of 2022. Happy New Week. I pray that all the work that we've been doing from the past year, that we've been doing for the past year together, allowed your last week to be off the chain. And if it didn't, that's okay. Let's do what we can to make sure that this week is. Today's BT is based off of Psalm 40:2. It says, "He also brought me up out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock and established my steps." Most definitely not a coincidence. Today's biblical truth is, my steps are established by God and God alone. Say it with me. My steps are established by God and God alone. And because He has established our steps, nobody else can take that from us. Nobody else can change that. I added that on there, but the actual BT is, my steps are established by God and God alone. But I also need you to understand and stand firmly on the fact that if God has established your steps, scratch that, not if, since God has established your steps, nobody else can take that from you. It is so. It shall be done. It shall come to pass. So again, stand firmly on today's biblical truth. Go ahead and read Psalm 40:2 for yourself. Believe that you have the power and the authority through Christ to mentally and physically align yourself with God's truth regularly and consistently, and not just on occasion. If you don't know by now, I'm going to let you know that our biblical truths come straight from our amazing community, Dare to Pursue. It is free to join, and the link is available in the show notes to join us. And not only when you join us do you get access to these biblical truths that are handwritten by me on a consistent weekly basis. It's not something that I find and just put inside of the community for you guys. I actually take time to write these by hand, to be intentional about what you're going to say, to command and win every single day. But you're also going to get access to my free amazing Master Your Mind audio class. It is about 50 minutes long, and it is literally going to change your life and your mindset. So make sure that you join us at the link in the show notes. So at this very moment, not only are there 2 weeks left in the year of 2022, one more Monday left in the year of 2022. But today is also the anniversary of my business. Woohoo! She turned 3 today. So on December 19th, 2019, I finally went forward with getting my LLC and all the things, and it was granted to me on December 19th, 2019. And so for you guys that have been here with me for quite some time, you already know we were doing things back in 2018, but I didn't think or know or realize that this was even going to be a business or anything like that. And so I have to go ahead and make sure that I celebrate 3 years official right? 3 years officially as a legally established LLC. Over the past 3 years, I have learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about what this business is supposed to be, and I'm still learning what God is going to do with it. But I really thank you guys that have been with me since Grace, Faith, and Works, the podcast. Like, who moved with me from Grace, Faith, and Works, the podcast? If you know, you know. And then we became Successful Servant Leader. And so it's just been a blessing. It's just been an amazing thing. Over the last 3 years, I've been able to help over 100 modern pioneer women who didn't even realize that they were modern pioneer women. I really got to help them find their voices and start to truly align on a regular basis, like with biblical truths. And now I say that regularly on a consistent basis to you guys. But in actuality, at that time, I had no idea. To be honest, I had no idea I was even aligning anyone or helping them to be aligned or leading anyone to be aligned. I just knew I was supposed to have some type of group where we were supposed to get closer to God. That's how this all started in 2018. Once I had my baby, it was like God was nudging me. And I always talk about that nudge or that pull that you keep dreaming about and you can't stop thinking about it and dreaming about it. That's God calling you into purpose. And he is just waiting for some of you to answer the call. And I know at this point, a lot of you have already answered the call and you've already started to do the work. And I want to say this to say, even when you start to do the work, God will evolve you, right? Even as you emerge, you will evolve over time. And that's what I've truly been able to watch happen to myself over the last 3 years is an evolution of not just graceful works, because I used to say, what did I used to call it? I think I just used to say Graceful Works. I really didn't even know how to go about it, but she's now an agency. Like, she's not just Graceful Works, but she's an agency where not only do I provide biblical services, but I also provide coaching and consulting. I also provide done for you services. I also help people to receive state licenses. Like, it's just grown into so many different things. And what he's done with my voice, oh my goodness. Now that deserves a round of applause just for itself. I'm so grateful. I'm so humbled to be able to say that God has developed my voice over the last 3 years and especially this year. And I'm super excited to see what he's going to continue to do with it. But I hope that this short testimony of Graceful Works and what I've done over the last 3 years has been encouraging to you to just get started. Okay, just get started. There was one point where God told me, I know that he told me to stop charging or to stop offering my devotionals for free. And he said, it's time to charge. And I was so nervous and I was so afraid, and I did. And everybody dropped off. Nobody wanted to pay. There was just one woman that stayed and paid. And she did so for about a year. Okay. She did so for about a year. And I said throughout that entire year, God, I only have one person in this group. If you give her the notion or the inclining to just stop paying, then I know that this wasn't for me to do. I know that I wasn't supposed to do this. And child, she's still paying to this day. She's still a member. I'm actually planning to get her a gift. So don't tell her if she's on here. Girl, I'm not talking about you. Like, but she may not even realize who she is because God was he allowed me to, in my head, he just allowed me to just flow and go as if I was speaking to a mass number of people. And now that same devotional community is called the Inner Circle, has over 10 members in it now. And he's going to continue growing. And for some of you, 10 may not be a lot, but that's a lot to me, considering most people don't want to pay for faith-based exploits. That's what the Inner Circle is all about, a faith-based exploit, and that only. People really want to pay for results in their business. And that's where that over 100 people that I've worked with, that's where that comes from. But the fact that I've had a consistent amount of people just be there, and I'm going to show up, I'm going to continue to show up for them. And I know that if it's God's will, he'll continue to grow that particular area, And so just the money that I've been able to make, again, the inner circle is only $25 a month. So please understand, please understand. That's not what I'm talking about. He's really blessed me in the area of to be able to build businesses. And so, yeah, I've had so much going on, you guys. This is really like a catch-up episode. I hope you're here with me, and I hope that it encourages you. Your girl right now is doing so much with Dare to Pursue. So please make sure that you stay tuned. That's one of the reasons that Sisters in Pursuit was changed to Dare to Pursue, because we had to get the branding in order. We had to get everything aligned. Okay. Get everything aligned. And as of right now, Successful Servant Leader, the blog and the podcast will remain that until God gives me a push to change it. Yes, I own the trademark for Successful Servant Leader and Dare to Pursue. I don't know. I'm just giving y'all a little update as we come to the close of 2022. And I'm giving you guys this update with a huge smile on my face, because whether God changes it or not, I still love Successful Servant Leader. I know that Successful Servant Leader will continue to be an academy, which is where most of the people that I teach to build their businesses, they come through Successful Servant Leader Academy through one Done For You service or program or another. But Dare to Pursue, man, it's about to be a thing. If you didn't already know, now you know. I'm very excited for what God is going to do. And I'm very excited for how he's going to move in the next season. Not only for myself, but for those connected to Dare to Pursue and Successful Servant Leader. And I really just pray that you actually dare yourself to pursue. Like, you don't stop yourself from the pursuit because it's not making you money, or because nobody's showing up, or because it doesn't feel good. It takes you outside of your comfort zone. I hope that you don't allow imposter syndrome and a feeling of being unqualified to stop you from pursuing the Lord your God, from pursuing his will for your life, from pursuing the fact that you are real MVP. If you're new here, real MVP just means that you are the actual most valuable player right now, here today. You are the most valuable player in your bloodline. That means you're called to break generational curses and build generational wealth naturally and spiritually. And I'm not just talking about finances. I always have to make sure that I say that for people that are new. I'm not just talking about wealth financially, but when you build wealth for a bloodline, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, right? When you build wealth for a bloodline, the financials will come, period. The financials will come. But you gotta know that you have to dare yourself to pursue. You have to. You have to understand the purpose in pursuing you and loving you, and how that connects to actually pursuing God. You have to understand the purpose in learning to trust. You have to learn how it's okay to tear down false idols and false belief systems. It's okay to tear that down out of your life. It's okay to check yourself. Man, it is okay to check yourself. Do you understand how many people walk around this earth that lack humility, that are so holier than thou, that are just so full of themselves and full of pride that they refuse to check themselves in the sight of God? They refuse to look in the mirror at themselves and say, you know what? I shouldn't have done that. You know what? I shouldn't have said that. You know what? Even though I have 1 million followers on my Instagram or 1 million subscribers on my YouTube channel, I'm the pastor of a church. I cannot do that. I cannot say that. Do you guys realize how many people hold the title of pastor and are misusing it and are abusing it? And they will be definitely brought to their knees when in God's moment in time. But you got to understand the importance of checking yourself. This is why Dare to Pursue is so important. And then after check yourself, you understand the importance of waiting and understanding God's timing and waiting in expectancy, and not just waiting, but also fully operating in your power and your authority and your grace to establish yourself as victor here in this battle, right? In this earthly battle and in the spiritual battle, like actually establishing yourself as God's official legislature and ambassador. Do you understand what an ambassador is? There are so many people who are brand ambassadors, and they are the face of the city, right? You know, I'm the face of the city. You know what I'm talking about. Or you know, I'm the face of Nike. You know, I'm the face of that brand, right? God wants us to be the face of his brand. Remember, I talked about a few weeks ago being branded by God. This was a masterclass that I did inside of the inner circle, but God gave me this actual vision that we are all branded by him, especially his children, and those who decide that, you know what, I found out about this man named Jesus, I want to be branded by him too. They get an opportunity as well. You got to understand that when you establish yourself, you are now outwardly sharing and showing that you've been branded by God. And after we establish ourselves, we understand the importance of discovery and discernment and bowing and investing and emerging. And it's just a beautiful process that God takes each and every one of us through, as long as we decide to go from walking to pursuing. A revelation that he just gave me here recently was that a lot of times we say our walk with God, or his walk with God, or her walk with God. We all have a walk with God, right? Especially as babes in Christ, we begin to walk with God. Especially as somebody who just found out who Jesus was, we begin to walk with God, right? And if you think about it from a baby or a human standpoint, you start off as an infant. You can't do anything on your own, right? God does everything for you. Then you go from being an infant to jumping in the bouncer. And then from jumping in the bouncer, you actually can move a bit in your bouncer. And then once you can move a bit in your bouncer, you realize I don't even need the bouncer. I can start to crawl on my own, right? And once you start to crawl on your own, you begin to walk. And so a lot of times I believe that we get stuck in the phase of walking with God, that we don't go to the next step, that we miss out on going to the next step of running, of jogging, of sprinting, right? Jog, sprint, then run. I guess for each baby it's different, right? But when you begin to go from walking to speed walking or running, that's pursuing. That's you actually making the choice to pursue. Each and every one of us as humans, we walk. You have to make the choice, obviously, to get up out of your bed, to get up out of a chair, to walk. It is a behavior that each and every one of us that we do. But on a regular basis, most of us don't run, especially as adults. Now, as children, your child probably does run through the house on a regular basis, probably does run at school on a regular basis. However, as an adult, really think about when was the last time you ran? And I'm not talking about running for working out, running on the treadmill or anything like that. But when was the last time you actually just ran? Okay. And for my people who wake up in the morning and you go on sprints and jogs and runs, kudos to you. Okay. You get a gold star. But for the rest of us, normal people that don't do that, when was the last time that you actually ran? For my girlies that love the treadmill, okay? Because that's me. I love the treadmill. I love a good speed walk on the treadmill, and I love to do a good mile and then be done. For my girlies who love the treadmill, when was the last time you actually ran on the treadmill? You have to make a choice to run. It is an action that you have to intentionally think about and tell your legs to do. It's the same thing with the pursuit. It is the same exact thing. You have to intentionally make the choice to pursue. And that's what I've had to do over the last 3 years, intentionally make the choice. And I mean, I had already intentionally made the choice. And the more I was obedient in doing what he told me to do, the faster I started to go. The quicker I started to move from walking to speed walking to sprinting to running. And now I'm running. Baby, I'm running full force. Okay? And I want to take each and every one of you with me. I want to take everybody that I possibly can with me because it's a beautiful and a joyous thing to run with God. It's so beautiful to pursue the Lord and the things that He has for you. He's going to open up doors that you never even thought were imaginable. You'll be speaking in front of people and to people that you thought you'd never have access to. You'll be in connection with celebrities that you're like, hold on. I just met this person at this place because God told me to show up to this event, or God told me to go to this conference, or God told me to show up at the coffee shop on this day, or God told me to drive around at this very moment in time, or God told me to, and then you end up meeting somebody, have an amazing conversation with them. They want to learn more about your services or who you are or what it is that you do or your nonprofit or whatever the case may be. And then you go to find out this person got over 100,000 followers. This person got some connection. This person actually got some rank in the spirit. This person, and God shows you how He is expanding and evolving your territory. If you know, you know. If you've been here for a while, I told you guys I was praying that prayer of Jabez since last year. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, the prayer of Jabez is that he just asked God to enlarge his territory. That's all he did. He asked God to enlarge his territory, and so He did. And that's why when I talk about the fact that wealth is not just about finances, when God enlarges your territory, we're not just talking about buying a new house and buying some land. We're talking about expanding your network. It is facts that your network is your net worth. It is facts that when we decide, okay, I'm no longer going to be afraid to step out of my little bubble. I'm going to be open and willing, especially for my introverts. I'm talking to my introverts here, especially for you who is used to staying to yourself, trusting yourself and being in your own little bubble, right? You've got to step outside of your comfort zone. You've got to give God your yes. You've got to be willing to talk to people. You've got to be willing, right? You've got to have faith that is so strong that you can go and talk to an atheist and not be deterred, right? You can go and talk to somebody who does not believe the same as you, who is a whole different religion, and be like, okay, God, I see what you're doing here. I see the connection that you have here, because God can and will use anyone. Please don't think that He's only going to use people who outwardly express their love for Him or who even say that they're Christian, right? So this is what I really want to come on and share with you guys today, that this tea that I spilled and that I've been spilling is not just so that I can come on here and talk for my health. It's no coincidence that what God has me doing right now, I'm in the phase or in the step of daring to pursue, which is dare to establish. It's no coincidence. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, it's no coincidence that our biblical truth today talked about establishing. It's no coincidence. God's timing is just always so amazing. It's no coincidence. He wants you to know that when you are connected to certain people, when you allow yourself to be under certain, and I don't really know if I even call this a ministry. I guess it's a ministry. It's a business ministry. When you allow yourself to be under certain ministries, you don't have a choice but to be established as His official legislator and ambassador, as His warrior, as somebody who operates in His authority and His power and in His grace. You have no choice but to be established. And if you feel like you do have a choice to be established, when God works on establishing you, you'll either fold or you'll get up and run. That's the choice that you're at right now. Where a lot of you listening, where you're at right now, either you're going to fold or you're going to run. And my prayer is that all of you get up and you run. When you hear think about a track meet, when you hear the gun goes off in the air, you will just take off and start running and establish yourself as victor. Establish yourself as victor in your industry, as expert, right? In your industry, right? So that's what I have for you guys today. I am just in awe at what God is doing with this community and what he's doing with me and my voice and what he's going to continue to do with Dare to Pursue. I have so many things that I want to share with you guys at the start of the new year. I'm telling you, I've been working. There's so many things I want to share with you, and I'm very excited about it. Next week's episode will be our most listened to episode of the year. So be on the lookout for that. And then I will be live talking to you guys again in 2023. So if you're not, let me make sure I say it right now. If you're not on my email list or inside of Sisters and oh my goodness, you guys, or inside of the Dare to Pursue community, make sure that you click those links in the show notes. Trust me, when you join, you won't regret it. Trust me, when you join, you at least get a freebie. You have nothing to lose. If you're not connected, make sure that you are connected before the end of the year, because I will also be doing a sweep of my email list for those people who are not active or interested anymore. Got to get rid of it. Starting new, starting fresh. And I'm starting with the people who want to dare to pursue, who want to pursue the things of God, who want to bring out of them the thing that has been covered up and hidden and really the enemy tried to abort. We're not aborting anything. And that's why I need people with me who have the same drive and who really want to pursue. So that is what I have for you guys today. I pray that it was good for you and your spirit. If you haven't already, please share this podcast with a friend, a family member. Share it with the last 5 people that you texted, right? Share with the last 5 people that you texted. Let them know that this is a movement. It is a clarion call for servant leaders and modern pioneer women worldwide to get up off their butt and pursue. Point blank and period. I love you guys so much, and be on the lookout for next week's episode.